question in from Stephen Noonan from St. Gerald's College, and he wants to know what's it like being a software developer and what do you do exactly?
Well, it's pretty different to most jobs. It's really a flexible job. I mean, you can often work very long hours, but it's also sometimes if there's no work to be done, you can often go home early. I mean, personally, I like to sleep in, so I usually come in around 10 or 11 in the morning, and then I start my work. And it's on a 3-week sprint we work. So depending on what's done, sometimes I will end up staying until 9 or 10 at night. Like I won't lie, it's hard when that happens. But often, if it's sunny, I might leave at 4. I mean, it's flexible. In my actual job, I spend my day either developing code, so I develop applications for the company, or fixing problems, fixing bugs that they have that the user could send in, and we get a list basically and fix them.
Great. Okay, yeah. Great. That sounds nice and flexible. I like the sound of that.
It's very flexible.
Aaron, can I ask you what the difference is between a software designer and a software developer?
Well, so the difference between myself and what David is doing, I think, is David will be working more from a purely development point of view.
Okay.
Whereas I think for myself, say as a software engineer or support engineer, I work on things like code optimization, but we also have a little bit of a more sort of all-encompassing view on things. So I would work on code optimization, but I would also work on like methodology and business processes, and things like that. What
was the degree or the steps that you took to get you into a position like that?
So I did a software engineering degree. So my degree was actually a pure programming degree, pretty much. Along with they did it was in DCU. They did some different sort of artificial intelligence and things like this, but it was basically a programming degree. And then I went directly into SAP after a year out, and from there it just progresses naturally. Like a lot of people, especially when they go into a programming degree, they think that, okay, I'm going to end up being a developer, but it's really not the case. Like out of all of my friends from college, we've all went different ways. Some people are doing project management. I'm doing sort of support engineer role, which is some code, some teaching, some sort of methodology, business processes, things like this. Some of my friends, probably the minority, are actually doing purely development roles.
Right, okay.
So I think a lot of students probably don't realise that.
And you're nodding here, Marion, agreeing from the recruitment perspective.
I think that's really reflective of the way companies are right now, especially software companies. I think a lot of them have their own way of doing it, and like that, like the guys, one would go into a very specific development position, and you could start off there and love that and do really well with it, but then move on to a more of a consultative type role, and then maybe levitate towards project management or business analysis. And I think really what we're seeing is computer sciences can be seen as a broad degree that can bring you in so many different directions, and you could do a year or two as a developer, and from that then there's so many different avenues you can specialise in. I think that's one thing that's not always known about computer science degrees, that they're so broad, and you can end up, CTO, architect level, director of engineering. It can bring you to many different places.
I think a lot of people don't realise that about the really big companies, is that you go in maybe as a graduate, and a lot of them have graduate programs, but after a year or two you can go wherever you want, really. I mean, once you have some experience, you can really broaden out.
So it's skill based, you get a lot out of the degree, and then you can move around.
You can move wherever you like, really, once you get that.
Ciara, you're a software developer.
Yes.
Yeah. What was your degree to get you into that?
So I started in Maynooth. I did computer science and software engineering, which is pure programming and software methodology degree. Then I actually worked in Ericsson for about 2 months, but I left to do a research master's in IT Blanchardstown. And then before I finished, they were looking for machine vision engineers in Hewlett Packard, so I went into there, and I kind of finished when I was working in Hewlett Packard. So when I started, it was kind of a support role, I would say. Like it's software and support, similar to what Aaron does. And now I'm pure development, which is similar to what you're doing, David. So we do a 3-week sprint as well, and we work on bug fixes, new features, that kind of thing.
Great. So by the sound of it, guys, you have loads of different areas to tap into, and your skills is allowing you to do that.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.